Hello, my dear students. Today we are on the third chapter, that is motions of the earth. Now, before we learned about longitudes and latitudes. With the help of these latitudes and longitudes, we can easily find out the time zones. We can easily calculate the time. And because of latitudes, which are imaginary lines, the climate also changes. We have a changes in climate. Now, because of the motion of the earth, we have the climatic changes. And how does it change? We will come to know in this chapter. As you know that the earth has two types of motions, namely rotations and revolution. Rotation means we have day and night, and revolution means we have 365 days in a year. Because of rotation, how does the earth move? The earth move on its axis. Axis means the imaginary lines which lies in the north pole and the south pole. Here in this picture you can see this is the axis. It is an imaginary line. In reality there is no such lines. These are only imaginary lines of how the earth rotates. It rotates on its axis. And those axes have two poles, which is known as the north pole in the northern hemisphere and the south pole in the southern hemisphere. And because of these rotations only we have day and night. Next we have revolution. Revolution means when the earth revolves around the sun. When the earth revolves around the sun, that is known as revolution. And it takes 365 days or 366 days to complete one revolution. And this revolution, the earth moves on a fixed path around the earth, which is known as orbit. And orbit is also an imaginary line. Okay? Now, the axis of the earth, which is an imaginary line, makes an angle of 66.5 degree. See, the earth, we know that it is little bit tilted. It is not straight, it is tilted. So it is tilted in 23.5 degree north, or we can say 66.5 degree north. And same likewise here also we can say 66.5 degree south, or 66 or 23.5 degree south. So with this orbital plane, the plane formed by the orbits is known as the orbital plane. So this is the orbital plane where the earth is tilted and forms an angle of 66.5 degree, 23.5 degree. The earth receives light from the sun. Everybody, we all know that from where we get the heat of the sun, from where we receive the sunlight. We receive the sunlight from the sun. Due to the spherical shape of the earth, we also know that the earth is not round in shape. It is spherical in shape, which has little bit flattened on the top as well as on the bottom. Only half of it gets light from the sun at a time. So because of this spherical shape, only half of the portion of the earth, it receives the light from the sun. It's because it is little bit tilted. 66.5 degree, it is tilted on both the sides, on the north pole also, on the south pole also. And in the previous chapter we learned that which are the climatic zones which receives most of the light of the sun, heat of the sun. We have torrid zone which receives most of the light of the sun, and then above we have the tropic of Cancer and tropic of Capricorn. We have temperate, north temperate zone and south temperate zone. So these climatic zones, they have a moderate climate because there the rays of the light becomes lighter. Then we also have frigid zone on the south pole and the north pole, where the rays of the sun becomes more lighter. The portion facing the sun experiences day, while the other half away from the sun experiences night. So we know it very clearly that when the sun rotates on its axis, the portion which is exposed to the light of the sun, it receives we have daytime, and the portion which does not receive any sunlight, that part has night. So it is because of the rotation of the sun we have day and night. The circle that divides the day from night on the globe is called the circle of illumination. This is a picture, see, circle of illumination. The axis, here is the line of axis, okay, and it is 66 half degree north and 66 half degree south, and this is a line of circle of illumination. So when the sun rays are falling in this region, in this part, the other part, it becomes darker, okay, and this half circle is known as circle of illumination, okay. This circle does not coincide with the axis as you see in the picture. The earth takes about 24 hours to complete one rotation around its axis. So we know that the earth, it takes how many hours to come to how many days it takes to complete one rotation? It takes 24 hours. The period of rotation is known as the earth day. This is a daily motion of the earth. So this is a daily motion of the earth. The earth keeps on rotating every day and every hour, okay. It does not stop. Imagine if the earth stops rotating, what will happen? Where the earth will stop, either it will have day or it will have night, and where the sun heats are falling on that portion, it will have daytime throughout the whole life, and the portion which does not receive any rays of the sun, it will have a night day. So it will become very problematic for each and everybody. So that's why the earth, it keeps on rotating on daily basis. Now what would happen if the earth did not rotate? The portion of the earth facing the sun would always experience day, as I told you, thus beginning continuous warmth to the region. It will be very hot. The other half would remain in darkness and be freezing cold all the times. Life would not have been possible in such extreme conditions. Now, the second motion of the earth around the sun in its orbit is called revolution. So, revolution means when the earth, it revolves around the sun on a fixed path which is known as the orbit. It takes 365 half days, 1 year, to revolve around the sun. We consider a year as consisting of 365 days only and ignore 6 hours for the sake of convenience. The earth takes it takes 366 days to complete one revolution in a year. But we consider only 365 days, and the next 6 hours we just ignore it. And this 6 hours we have calculated in the coming 4 years. Like after each and every 4 years, what we have the leap year. It means the 6 hour into 4 is equal to 24, and we know that one day, 24 hours makes one day. So this one day is added in the month of February, and that's why we have in February we have 29 days, which is considered as the leap year. Now, because of this revolution, we experiences different kind of seasons. We have summer season, autumn season, winter season, monsoon season, spring season. Okay, because of this revolution. Now, 6 hours saved every year are added to make 1 days, that is 24 hours over a span of 4 years. So 6 hours is saved and calculated with 4 years for to make it 24 hours, which makes 1 day. This surplus 4th year February is a 29 days instead of 28 days. Such a year with 366 days is called a leap year. Find out what will be the next leap year be. So you have to find out when we will get our next leap year. From the figure 3.3, it is clear that the earth is going around the sun in an elliptical orbit. From the figure 3.3, it is clear that the earth is going around the sun in an elliptical orbit. Now, what is an elliptical orbit? If you can just see clearly, you can find the shape of an egg. It is just like an egg. So this shape is known as the elliptical orbit. The earth is moving in this order, and because of this movement around the sun, we experiences different weather, different season. Okay, notice that throughout its orbit the earth is inclined in the same direction. The earth is inclined means it is not straight, it is little bit slanted, inclined. Okay, so when the earth, see, this is the axis of the earth. Okay, this is the axis of the earth, and we know that it is little bit tilted, so it will move in this order only. It will move in this order around the sun. So when in this tilted portion also, some rays will receive on the sometimes the sun rays will receive on the north pole and sometimes on the south pole. It's all because of this tilted portion of the earth. A year is usually divided into a summer, winter, spring and autumn seasons. So we know that we have 4 seasons. What are the 4 seasons? We have summer, winter, spring and autumn. Seasons change due to the change in the position of the earth around the sun. So why we experience seasons? It's because of the change of the earth's revolution. Because of the earth's revolution, when the earth revolves around the sun, the portion of the north and south also keeps on changing, and that's why we experience seasons. Look at the figure 3.3. You will see that on 21st June the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. So let us have a look on the figure 3.3. Now 21st June, where is 21st June? It is here. 21st June, the northern hemisphere, this is the northern hemisphere. So it is little bit tilted towards the sun. The sun rays are falling more on this northern hemisphere. The rays of the sun fall directly on the Tropic of Cancer. As a result, this area receives more heat. The area near the poles receive less heat as the rays of the sun are slanting. The North Pole is inclined towards the sun, and the pole beyond the Arctic Circle experiences continuous daylight for about 6 months. So the Arctic Circle, it has 6 months day and 6 months night because of the revolution of the earth. Since a large portion of the northern hemisphere is getting light from the sun, it is summer in the regions. north of the equator. The longest day and the shortest night at these places occur on 21st June. So 21st June is known as the longest day of the year, especially that also in the summer season. At this time in the southern hemisphere, all these conditions are reversed. So we are having on 21st June the longest day and the shortest night. But when it comes to the southern hemisphere, it is reversed, opposite. They will have longest night and shortest day. It is winter season there. The nights are longer than the days. This portion of the earth is called the summer solstice. On 22nd December, the Tropic of Capricorn receives direct rays of the sun as the south pole tilts towards it. So now on 22nd December. On 22nd December, now the south pole is little tilted. As the sun rays fall vertically at the top Tropic of Capricorn 23½ degrees south, a large portion of the southern hemisphere gets light. Therefore, it is summer in the southern hemisphere. So, when we are having in the countries which are lying in the northern hemisphere, they will have winter season, and the countries which are lying on the southern hemisphere, they will be having summer season. Okay, because there the south pole is little bit tilted and the sun rays fall vertically on the Tropic of Capricorn, that is 23½ degree south, and that's why they get more light of the sun. And there in southern hemisphere they have summer season. Therefore, it is summer in the southern hemisphere with longer days and shorter nights. So they have longer days and shorter nights. The reverse happens in the northern hemisphere. The position of the earth is called the winter solstice. Do you know that Christmas is celebrated in Australia in the summer season? In summer, because the country which are lying in the southern hemisphere, they get the direct heat of the sun, and that's why they have summer season. So that's why on 25th December, when we are having winter season, those countries which are lying in this revolution period, they will be having summer season, and that's why Australia, they have summer season instead of winter season, and so they celebrate Christmas on the summer season. On 21st March and September 23rd, direct rays of the sun fall on the equator. So on this day, 21st March and September 23rd of September, direct rays of the sun fall on the equator. And what is an equator? Equator means which divides the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere into two halves. And on the equator we have the torrid zone, where the sun rays falls directly on this equator, on this zone, climatic zone. At this position, neither of the poles is tilted towards the sun, so the whole earth experiences equal days and equal nights. This is called an equinox. So equinox means when the equator, when the earth is not tilted. So that's why the sun rays fall directly on the equator. And neither the North Pole nor the South Pole, they don't receive sunlight. They have a very cold climate over there. And this portion is not, this way of revolution is known as equinox. On 23rd September, it is autumn season in the northern hemisphere and spring season in the southern hemisphere. The opposite is in the case of 21st March, when it is spring in the northern hemisphere and autumn in the southern hemisphere. Thus, you find that there are days and nights and changes in the season because of the rotations and revolutions of the earth, respectively. So because of the rotations and revolutions, we have day and night, and also we have different kinds of seasons. Now that's all for the chapter. Hope so you have understood. So we will meet in the next class. Till then, take care and thank you so much.